This conference will now be recorded.
So good morning everyone. Let me know if you don't see my screen. So today, yesterday we started Ansible and we discussed about SSH keygen and private key and public key, right? And I told you what we have to do, where to copy those things we discussed yesterday. Let us do now the same thing. So let us create two servers now. So what are those two servers which I'm going to create now? That is, one is Ansible server itself, the control machine itself. This one we will create. Out of these three, I will create, as of now I will create only one server I will create, and one control machine, right? First we will connect these two machines and we will learn basic commands about Ansible, and then slowly we'll increase the servers. So for this, I'll say Ansible server, Amazon Linux, T2 micro. For this, T2 micro is enough. No need to use T2 medium or small. T2 micro is enough. So that's all we required. Remaining are normal. We need two now. Okay, we need two. So let us create two instances. So both with created with the same name. Let me change the other one with the other name. I'll say something. I'll give some other name like node 1. So two. It has not been saved. Right. So what I will do, let us connect to these two servers. So this is the first server. So let us give a name, something like Ansible server, right? So this is Ansible server, and then we'll create another server. Let us connect to another server. This is node 1. If any doubt, please interrupt me. Don't hesitate to ask any question. This is node 1. So now both are ready. Next what we discussed yesterday, I have to run this command, right? Okay, on control machine or Ansible server. You can say anything, right? So go to our Ansible server. Here just simply say, see, first of all, when I say ls-a, you'll see hidden files. You'll see hidden files. -a shows us hidden files. Out of this, we have .sh is a hidden file folder. Let us get into SSH. cd.ssh ls. You see, every machine will contain authorized keys. Yesterday, I told it authorized. Actually, it is authorized keys. This is a file, right? This is a file we have to update. So every machine will contain authorized keys. So if you open this if you can print content, if you type the content, so you see this is the public IP, sorry, public key. This is a public key, and we have private key as well, right? Private key will be on our machine. Private key will be on our machine. This is a private key, and this is a public key, right? By default, every machine, if you open, you will get the same public key, right? And you see the key pair name also, key pair 3. It's showing key pair 3, right? Now, if I go to the other machine, ls, now here also, if you go to ls-a, this also contains .sh folder. If you go to .sh folder ls, if you print authorized, you see the same key. It is also public key, and this machine also contains the same public key, right? In any machine, if you create 10 instances, all of them will share the same public key, so that you can connect to them. You can connect to them, right? That is fine. Next question is, run this sh key on our control machine. Fine. Then this is my first machine. See the name here, Ansible server. Okay, I am inside the .sh folder. Just come out of it. Now I will say ssh hyphen keygen. Now it is generating a public and private RSA key pair. Enter the file in which to save the key. If you don't give a name, then by default it will create this file, ID RSA file, inside our .sh folder, right? So by default, I want it to be created in the same folder only. That is the reason I'm not giving any name. Press enter, enter. Now it has been created, right? Now this is an enter passphrase. Passphrase actually nothing but it's we call it some salt kind of. That means a new key is creating, private and public key. On top of it, you want to add any extra, want to make it more complicated key, then you can add some, give some words, some words over here. So your key will be generated using those words as well, but again it's not required. Anyway, clear the screen, go to our ssh folder. Now this time, along with authorized key, you will find two more keys here. ssh keygen has created these two files. Now what I have to do, this on my Ansible machine, I will have the private key, and this public key I have to copy to my other server. This is a node server. Here I have to copy. I have to copy inside my authorized key. Which one? This content. So cat id, this is a key. You copy it. Just select everything up to here. Just select it. You go to our target machine. So what is our target machine? These are our target machines. For every machine, you have to do the same thing. Go to our target machine. Open our authorized file, press enter, end button. You are at the end, you see the cursor is blinking over here. Now you press I for insert, right? When you press I, then you are ready to insert. Now slowly move your right arrow, and now here, now you're at the next line, press enter. Right here I have to paste the whatever we copied here, right? The same thing I have to paste over here. So right click and click on paste. So it is pasted over here. Escape. That's it. Escape and shift colon WQ. That means we are saving this content. Enter. Now it is done. Once it is done, what steps we have to do next? So these steps are done then, right? Then next, what steps we have to do? We have to do some changes. Like no, I have to do some changes so that my control machine able to connect to my machine without any restrictions. So I should allow on my host machine, I should allow my Ansible server machine to connect to this host machine. For that, I have to allow, for allowing my control machine to connect my machine without any password or any, without any instructions, without any restrictions. That means my control machine or my Ansible machine may install, this may install any software on this machine, right? So for that reason, you should have proper permissions for that. For that reason, in this machine, I have to do some changes. Where I have to do the same changes? In a file called sshd underscore config. This is a file. In this file I have to do some changes. So where this file exists? This file exists inside your /etc folder. Let us go to that folder. So meanwhile, it may expire the session. So clear the screen, ping google.com. This is my master machine or Ansible server machine. Now here cd, just enter, clear the screen. Now go to /etc ls. There are many files. So in this you go to sh folder. We should go to sh folder. It is inside the ssh folder. Inside this file will be there. Go to sh folder, cd ssh, enter. Now you are in ssh, right? So clear the screen. If you see present working directory, you are inside etc, inside ssh. Here you have to ls. If you say this is a file, this is a file that we need to change, shd underscore config file. We have both. Here also we have ssh, but this does not have d. So this one we have to change. How to change? Va editor ssh s tab d tab, enter. So this is a file we have to change. What we have to change? We have to uncomment few things here. So come down. So here this is a one authentication. Under authentication section, this thing has to be uncommented. Copy this, uncomment this one. This is to be uncommented. That means how to uncomment? Just remove this slash symbol, hash symbol. So go to insert mode. Here I am here. Press I. You are in insert mode. Delete button. The hash is demoted. That means permit root login. Prohibit password. Without any password, now I am able to log in. That means my Ansible machine able to log in to my connect to my machine without any password. It can connect to it directly. And one more settings we need to do is password authentication. It is saying no, so just copy this. Now change it to yes. Now here we are already in insert mode. Press end button, remove no and press type yes. Escape. These two changes are enough. Now save it and come out of it. And this is a service actually. This is SSH is a service. So in this SSH service, we have to restart this service. We have to restart. When you restart, then all these files will be reloaded again, reloaded again, and the changes whatever we did in this file will take effect. For to restart it, what we have to do? We have to restart the SSH service. For that, what we have to do? We have to run a command called service. Which service you want to start? SSH HD. This is a service I want to restart, right? This is a command you have to do. So service sshhd restart. Now you see redirect into, so it is restarted. Now the service has been restarted. That's all. These are the only changes we have to do now. So how can we verify whether it is connected or not? ping.google.com, or before that cd, clear the screen, ping.google.com. Now I want to test now. I want to test whether my connections are proper or not. How can I test? I have to test by checking from this machine whether I'm able to connect to this machine or not. That I have to check. How can I check? We have a command. We have a small command called ssh command root at the rate the IP address of the IP address of this machine. So from here I am running on from this machine. I have to run a command from this machine, and I have to test whether this machine allowing me to connect or not. This machine whether allowing this control machine whether to connect it or not. If it allowing means our setup is working. So what I have to do for that, this machine has to ping it. It has to connect to it using its IP address. Which IP address? It can be your public IP or it can be your private IP. No problem. Any IP you can take. So running status node 1. I want to connect to node 1, right? So you can take this one or this one, no problem. Let me take private IP, because as you know, the servers can communicate with private IPs also. Only when you want to connect to these machines through browser, only then you have to use public IP. But internally, if they want to communicate, they can use any one of them, no problem. So I'm taking private IP. Then what I have to do? Here I have to paste it. That means SSH root at the rate this command. If you run this command, then I should able to connect the other machine. Let me try this. Control C, clear the screen. This is my Ansible server, and I'm pasting here and enter. So it is asking whether you want to it is asking permission. So are you want to connect? Yes. Now carefully observe. We are in the machine Ansible server, but where are we? After logging, we are on node 1. Directly we are connected from our Ansible machine to that other machine. To this machine we have connected from this machine. That means the connection is properly established. That means the connection is properly established. So now I want to exit. I want to come out of it. Exit, type exit. You see it logged out, and now we are back to your Ansible server. So like this, if you have multiple machines, you have to check with the same way. You try with more than one machine. Other machine also you can try. You said you try with other third machine also. Okay, you try with that. That is fine. Next step is what? Next step is installing our Ansible itself. Then here, very simple, yum install Ansible -y. This is a command you have to execute. Copy it and paste here on my server main machine. On my main machine, right? Please stop me wherever you are not understanding. Now Ansible is installed. So if you say Ansible -version, so Ansible is developed using Python. So Python also should be installed. So when you install Ansible, Python also will be installed. So as of now, where is our Ansible installed? It's what is the version it is? It's 2.15 version, and these are other details about our Ansible, and these are the Ansible shared libraries, etc., etc. So now Ansible is installed. Next step is what? Clear the screen. CD etc. Here we have Ansible. In this etc, we can we have a Ansible folder will be created inside it. Inside the etc, we will have a Ansible folder created. So let's get into that. CD Ansible ls. Now present working directory. So it is etc/Ansible, or in one shot you can say, right, etc tab tab, like that. Now we are inside here. So as of now, in this folder, Ansible folder, only roles is there. Only roles is there. And if you remember, this control machine requires inventory file, right? Inventory file. So in the inventory file, I told you what importance of this inventory file. Inventory file contains what? The host machine names, right? Details of the host machine. So it can be a domain name, or it can be a your IP address. Okay, but in the square bracket you will mention the section name, right? Like that you do. Section name you can give any name. Under it you can give the IP address, right? The same thing I have to do now. Now Ansible is created, connection is established. Now I want a inventory file. Inventory file, normally by default the inventory file name will be hosts. Default inventory file name always will be hosts. like that. This is a default. You can change this name as well. You can change this name as well, no problem. But as of now, this is a host is a by default name. But this host is not shown here, right? Host is not shown here. So that host name normally you have to create inside our etc Ansible folder. Here already roles is there. What is roles we will discuss once the topic comes. Then at the time we'll discuss about roles as well. But as of now, I have to create a new file hosts vi hosts. This file will not come here directly, but you have to create it vi hosts. In that I will insert, click on insert. Here I will say some any name you can give, like now node1 for example node1, or I can say dev. In the dev section I want to give the node1 IP address. See, if we normally we will give elastic IPs or we give private IPs, because elastic IPs will not change, private IPs also will not change. Public IPs, they will change, right? If you stop this node one, and if I copy this name and I paste this public IP in this host file, then tomorrow if you restart your machine, then the IP will change, right? So that is the reason either you give private IP or elastic IPs. I am copying private IP here. Copy this private IP and paste over here. Now save this. So as of now I have only one machine. If you have 100 machines or 200 machines, no problem, you have to copy here. Every machine, every IP you have to copy here. Now escape. Now ls, now we have host file and roles folder. Host file, you know what it having, right? Cat hosts, this is the content it having. That means as per the discussion what we discussed yesterday, control machine everything is ready, host is our inventory file also ready. No playbook is there. So playbook is like our shell script. Playbook is like our shell script. And you know, shell script, without shell script also we can execute commands, right? So shell script contains what? Linux commands. So those Linux commands we can individually we can run, right? So similarly here also, without playbook also we can execute our commands. Those commands we can execute on our managed nodes. On these nodes we can execute them without playbooks. But in real time we always use playbooks. But just for testing purpose you can run some, we call them as ad hoc commands. We call them as ad hoc commands. How it looks like? Ansible ad hoc commands. Now these are the ad hoc commands, right? How it looks like? How it looks like? See, first of all, Ansible is a binary file. It is a binary file, or you can think it as a program. It's a program. Its name is Ansible. Its name is Ansible. Something like, now you say here, if I say ls is a program. It is ls is a program written by the Linux developers. So when you press enter, it will display output as, it will fetch the details and to show here. That is the way the program is written. Similarly, Ansible is also another program. But to this, like ls, to ls we will give some arguments, right? Like -a will give arguments. When you go -a, it will show hidden files as well. So this is the argument, right? For ls we have multiple arguments, right? ls -la l, many arguments are there. Similarly, our Ansible also will have multiple arguments. So first argument, it can be, you can give all. What is all, we'll understand. Or you can give the group name. The group name you can give, or your host name. What are these, I will explain in a moment. Or IP and -m. M is -m, yesterday I told you it's a module name. And finally -a, it's an argument, right? So this command looks something like this. That means I can say Ansible, I can directly say dev -m. Now I want to run a module with ping module. It just pings, it will, this Ansible server will connect to this machine with a command, ping command. Then it will respond back as a pong. It gives a response as pong. It pings and pongs. That's the response. So if you run this command, and ping will not take any arguments, not required. So you see here, dev, I am saying dev is nothing but your group name. Suppose in your section, in your host file, in your host file, if you have mentioned in what you mentioned there, in that you mentioned as square dev, you mentioned, right? So you mentioned like this, and here you mentioned the IP address. This whatever inside the square bracket, you can keep it here. That means Ansible will go through this section and it will find out all the IP address under this section, and it will connect to all those machines, all those IP addresses mentioned under this section. In our example, we have only one IP address. It will connect to that machine, and it will, on that machine it will run a command called ping command. Then that machine will respond back with a pong message. That we'll see how it responds. And in place of dev, assume your Ansible having multiple sections like dev, UAT, SIT, many sections are there. And suppose you want to connect all of them in one shot. Then instead of dev, you can give all. You can give all. See, in real time, we won't do this. In real time, we always write in playbooks. But before we jump into playbooks, I want to make you familiar with the commands, with some of the modules. You can give all here, or directly, suppose here IP address is there, something like web.server dot or web.tcs.com. Some it is a web server or host name. This name also you can give something like this here. In place of all, you can directly give this one. Or lastly, we have IP address. You can give your IP also, something like 170 something, your IP address also you can directly give. That means under dev section, whatever IP we mentioned, directly you can give that here only directly, no problem, right? So these are all the ways you can give. But for now, for example, I will not give all. I will use my group name, that is dev, and I will to ping it. This is a module, so every the module this will change always, right? This always changes. And then arguments. This module, if it takes in arguments, you have to give the arguments. Now this command I will run now. Let us go here. Now here what I will do. Let me come out this Ansible. Come out this Ansible. No need to be here. Just cd split a screen. Present working directory is root now. Okay. Now I will say Ansible dev. This dev, you know, right? This dev is our section name mentioned in the host file, right? That is the name dev, right? And then module name and ping. Now press enter. Now you see connection has been successful. Is saying success. Now we pinged and it responded with pong. The connection is established now. Now you try now. Tomorrow today you try, you add one more server, node 2. No, whatever we did on node 1, same thing you do on node 2 as well. And under dev section, what you have to do, you have to add one more IP address, right? The next IP address, whatever you created, what second one or third one, whatever you created, that you have to paste here line by line. Next line, the next line you have to mention it. Or if you want to try, you can give another section as well, something like SIT, and in this you can put your other private IP address. You can do that. You do try that. Okay, you try that. That way you can add multiple sections. If you are using SIT, so the dev I am using to run the command, now SIT section is available, then you can give your name as, in place of dev you can give SIT as well. So if you give SIT, what happens, only the IP address under this SIT section will be connected by the Ansible server, right? I'm coming out of it without saving q, it will not be saved. Again it's saying it's not permitting, no problem, you say q and give exclamation mark, forcefully it will come out of it. Let's, if in doubt, just print the data, so nothing has been changed, right? That is about it. Now suppose I want to run a shell service, I want to run a, sorry, shell module. I want to run a shell module. This is one module, another module I want to run. This one command, another command, I will use shell module on my dev group name. Dev group name. In this dev group name, I want to run another command, something like the module name is shell. Hyphen m, you must give shell. The shell is a service. In the documentation, yesterday I told you how to see the documentation. go to the documentation, you will get more information about this documentation. -a. So here learn about Ansible modules, click on that, scroll down, indexes of all modules and plugins. Now index of all modules, right? This is the one you click. These are Amazon cloud related APIs. Now come here, shell for example. I want to see shell. Here is a shell, right? Right click and open in a new tab. And shell module takes these all parameters. Change directory, command, creates, etc. Many are there, right? Now out of this, I want to use one command. You can give many commands. Out of this, I want to use one command. Come over here, shell hyphen argument I'm passing. What argument I'm passing? I want to print the date of this machine, date on this machine. That is Control C. If I say date, this date is it is printing the same output I want to see on my master machine. So if I say here shell argument set date. Now if I run now it's printing date. So date of which machine? It's giving the number IP address 69, right? Go to this machine. See the IP address of this machine. IP address is not shown here, right? I changed it. So what is it? So whatever time it is showing, something different. That is changed. It is 35:31. It is 35:17. So some few seconds variation. So the same date what we are seeing, I want to see here. I want to see it here, and I want to see when the server when it is started, when the server is started. Uptime. This is a command. Uptime is a command. It will show you when it is started. It is started 29 minutes ago. If I do, I want to check it. I want to check it staying on my machine. I want to get that information from on this machine only. I don't want to go to this machine and run the uptime. I want to run that uptime here only on this machine only. But what the uptime of this machine should display on this machine. So how can you do that? Simple. In place of date, you can say uptime. It is given 30 minutes, right? So previously this machine shown as 29 minutes. 29 minutes. You run it, it will also show 30 minutes. Right? Same thing. So this IP address 69. See ending with 40.69. If you go to our instances, node 1 private IP, you see what is the IP address of private IP? 40.69. So the same thing it is showing here 40.69. This information belongs to this server. Just I'm slowly making you comfort. Then we'll start playbooks. Then is next uptime. Like similarly, suppose you want to know about you want to use module. You want to use copy module, but you don't know. You can go to our website. You can get the information about copy module, no problem. But the same thing I want to see on my master machine as well. Then we have a command called Ansible doc hyphen L. If you give hyphen L, then Ansible documentation everything will be shown here and it will be listed out. You press enter now. So these are all the documentation which we saw on the browser. The same thing. You press enter, it scrolls. Now these are all the things which you already saw on the website. See the ping is there, right? The shell we just executed. Setup is interesting one. We will see that as well in a moment. So like that we have all the commands. But particularly I want to see. I want some I want to use copy. I want to use this copy command. I want more detail about this copy command, how to use, what arguments it takes, everything I want to know. Then what you can do? Here on the colon, you just just type Q. Just type Q. You are out of it. Now, the previous command, this is a command, right? In place of hyphen L, you just say copy. Whatever module you want to, whatever details you want to know about that module, you give the module name over here. They press enter now. Now it will give all the description. So everything is written in Python language. That is the reason copy.py it is showing. This Ansible is developed using Python language. So for that, this is a copy.file name. If you want, you can find this under library. If you go to library, user library Python 3.9, if you go to this folder, you will have the content of how the copy program is written. If you are interested, you can go through it and you can refer it. And it is about the copy. The copy module copies a file from local to remote. This you already know. And what arguments it takes. These are the arguments: backup argument, checksum argument. Many are there. Destination argument, right? This way you can go through each argument. You see the difference between the single hyphen and double hyphen. When it is double hyphen means that is a mandatory field. When you are using copy module as an argument, suppose you are using copy module for example here. If you are using copy module here, then as an argument you must pass this destination. Remaining are single hyphen. That means single hyphen are not mandatory. These are optional arguments. Double this equal to symbol indicates that it is a mandatory field. You must pass it. Right? That way you have to identify. Now press Q now. So this way you can use various, you can see watch various documentations. So what is the command we typed just now? Ansible doc -l and Ansible doc. Here you can say module name. You can give, right? Example, copy. This way you can try. Now let us try to use the copy command itself. So here copy command. So suppose I want to copy. What you want to copy? For example, let me try where I am in the Ansible folder, right? So let me go to root. Just set cd. Present working directory is root. Create a screen. No files are there. Let me create a file, something like here. I will say file 1. This file 1 has been created on Amazon, sorry, Ansible server. Now we are going to copy this file on another server, that is node 1. Please stop, enter, control C. Now ls file 1 is copied. If you see the content of that, this is the content. So I want to move this file, computer file, to my another machine. This is my another machine. Okay, I think it will be, it would have, it might lost the connectivity. Let's see. It is, so if it's not responding, no problem. Go to our instances, connect. If the shell is not responding, don't wait for that. Open a new one. ls, no files are there. Now what I will do, we have many folders actually, but default folders will be there. For one of them is, if you go to cd opt ls, so cd opt. Now in the cd opt we have already some folder with AWS. To the same folder I want to copy my file 1. I want to copy this file 1 to this folder. For that, what command I have to use? you have to give the arguments. Copy argument double quotation. You have to give the double quotation. And if you go to the documentation of copy, you will see we have a key parameter called source equal to from where you want to copy from root. It is in root, right? Root, in the root we have file 1. This one I want to copy. Give a space. Destination dest equal to where you want to copy. In the destination we have a folder called opt. In the opt folder I want to copy. So not double quotation, use single quotation and a single quotation. So I'm saying the file 1 where it is present working directory, in the root folder our file is there. So in the root file 1 is there, that I want to copy to destination slash opt. When I say, then this copy understands what is the destination. It knows that the file name, the destination will be under dev group. Dev is a group name which is inside the hosts file. In the host file we have IP address, right? IP address of that destination machine. If you have 10 machines, 10 IP address in the dev section, then the copy command will copy this file in all those 10 machines. In all those 10 machines. But in our scenario, we have only one machine. You try with 2 machines, okay? Now, when you run this command, then our file should be copied here, right? As of now, we don't have. Let us run it. Paste here and run it. You see, changed. It says changed equal to true. If something goes gone wrong, then it will say false. It will show you false here. It will show you false here. What is it is successfully changed. Now let us see. Type ls now. Now you see file 1 is there. That means we are able to successfully able to do some tasks on other target machines. One by one we are trying it. Now you see the content of this file. See the same content. Whatever content we created on this machine, the same content has been shown here. Now one more thing. For example, you can do many things, like for example ls-l. Now as of from this file 1 having only read write read read permissions. Suppose you want to give more permission, like I want to give read write execute read write execute read write execute for all the groups. How can I give that? Very simple. So if you go to the documentation, you'll find one more option here, one more argument with the name mode equal to, you can say what you want to give, 777. When you get 777, then you will get, it will be all read write and execute permissions. It will be read write execution permission. That mode I want. If you remember, we have a command called change mode. This is a command we used to do the same purpose. We use mode argument. Now this command if you copy and if you paste over here and execute, now again the change has happened. The mode has been changed to 077. Previously the mode was 0644. Now it is 077, and here owner is root user. Now we can change owner as well, that we'll see in a moment. Now go to here. Now same command you run again. This time you see the permissions has been changed. Yes or no? The permission has been changed. But who is the owner? Root user is a root user, right? Now I want to change the root users as well, for example. So I can do something like this. You can copy this. So one more argument I want to give, for example, instead of mode, you can simply say owner. Owner is the argument. You can say owner as Ravi, but Ravi owner should already exist on this machine. That is a condition. So user add Ravi. That's enough. User add I have created. Now group name, that is here you will get Ravi. This is a group name. This name also I want to change. For that you have to create a group add command. Group add is a command. You can say something Raj. or some other name, some group add. So now come over here. Now here group, you should say group equal to some Sevati name, and owner is Ravi and group name is Sevati. So these options I want, these things I want to come over here. This has to be Ravi and this has to be Sevati. So when you run this command, let us see how it works. Now the command has been executed. Ignore this one. This command is executed. Now it shows that everything has been changed properly. Let us see that. Now run the previous command, ls-l. Now you see Ravi username and Sevati is the group name. So everything what we do, whatever we do, everything we can do here. Whatever you do, we can do here. Whatever you do manually, the same thing you can do from using our control machine. And one more thing I told you about facts, Ansible facts. Ansible facts. What is this? So before executing any command on that target machine, before any command is executed on the target machine, first of all, our Ansible tool will gather the facts. It will gather the facts. For example, uh, Ansible dev -m. This time I will use another module called setup. When I run this command module, it is displaying you all the facts. It's gathered the facts about that particular node 1 server. So that means, see, many details are there, right? When I executed this command, Ansible -m setup, then it has gathered all the information like what is the IP address. This is a private IP address. If it having IPv6 address, then what is the IPv6 address? Then what is the architecture it is using? What is bias date? That means internally whatever hardware it is using, that information also it will gather. Board name, many are there, right? Boot image, many information which if you want you can use in our playbooks. Normally we will use it in our playbooks. So these are all nothing but argument, these are all nothing but you can variables, you can use it as a variables, these things that we will discuss when we working on variable section. So what else we have? Out of this I want to know the family, what which family it belongs to. So this Ansible distribution belongs to Amazon and it belongs to Red Hat family. It should belong to Red Hat family. So where it is informed, where it is shown here, the host name is node 1. The family I'm searching for family. Let me know if you're able to see it. If you don't know, if you're not able to find it, no problem, you can filter it out. Out of this whatever you want you can filter out, you can filter out. For example, I want to know the Ansible family name, then up the same command, to this I'm passing an argument in a single quotation, filter. Filter equal to what you want to filter with. As I told you, these are nothing but your arguments, right? If I want to filter out this uh, or any one of them, or else I want to filter out the family name itself, then Ansible -os family in double single quotation and press enter. Now instead of displaying all this information, it prints only that particular information, that is Red Hat. So this is somewhere here. I'm not able to find it out. It is somewhere here, but if you are unable to find it, no problem. You can filter it out like this, right? Something I want to know the architecture. This one I want. Copy it. I want the output should get this output, for example. So you can say simply right click here and paste that. Now enter. Now I got the only that architecture, only that value. So this way you can fetch any value. So these values normally we will fetch even in our playbooks. In our playbooks we can fetch it and we can use it. So when we working with two servers, for example, here in this picture, here we have only one server, node 1, that belongs to Amazon. What if I am having another server belongs to another family, like Ubuntu family, I'm sorry, Debian family. So Ubuntu belongs to Debian family. Now in my playbook I have to, while in my playbook I have to write some conditions. If that instance belongs to the family Red Hat, then execute this command. If that family belongs to Debian family, so if you have today, you try, you create another instance, Ubuntu instance, and run this command for Ubuntu. Then for Ubuntu you should get here a new family name, that is Debian. Debian. Debian should come over here. So you can write a program, like a script you can write. If it belongs to Red Hat, then execute below commands. If it belongs to Debian, then execute other commands. Other commands belonging which will run properly on the Ubuntu. So this way you can run multiple commands. Let me know if you have any questions till now. Any questions? Right? Try. Yes, please. No questions? Right.
Yeah,
If no
Madan, for
questions,
adding, sorry.
yes, Navin.
Yeah, actually, for adding any usernames, we should add in sudo file, right? But with not add, how come this works?
I'm sorry for adding Sodex.
Uh, yeah, not sudox. If we want to add any user, so for that we need to give permissions, right, in sudo file. So, but we did not give any permission sudo file for user, for new user.
It depends again. It works in different ways. This is one of the way,
Okay. Okay.
right? Where there different ways are there. This is one of the way. Okay, right. No problem. Next, we will try to understand YAML files. So, because as I told you, YAML, we write playbooks using YAML format. YAML means yet another markup language. So at another markup language, if you we have a website for them as well. So to understand how it can be used, for example, you can go something like yaml.org. Try this. Just try to understand the syntax. So what it is, YAML is a human-friendly data simulation language for all programming languages. So normally, how it looks like. See, every YAML file actually starts with 3 lines. Here it is not shown. Just a moment. So actually, yeah, see the syntax. So the first line starting with, actually every line should start with 3 lines that I will show you in a moment. So a first single hyphen with a one space and some name you can give. It's an example, only example. Under it, we have 3 items. So how you giving, you see, you are pressing a tab over here and it coming under the first letter below the first letter, give a hyphen over there and a space and the first item. Similarly, the second item is the third item. So these three items belongs to this section. And you see the other one, this is another item. That means in YAML 1.2 we have subversions 1.2.2, 1.2.1, 1.2.0. So these three subversions belongs to this main version. And similarly we have another version 1.1. This does not have any subversions, and this also does not have any subversions. If they have any subversions, what you have to do after 1.1, you have to press enter and press a tab. Under that you have to give hyphen space and whatever text you want to give. So here you should concentrate on the hyphen symbols, the spaces, the tabs. These things you have to understand. Right? Here, for example, C++ is there. Under that, these are the items. So how are you giving C? Hyphen space, hyphen space. So let me explain these things with our one of our scripts. Then you will understand more easily. So when we're working with playbooks, then you can understand exactly how we can use playbooks. So let us see that. So what is playbook? Playbook is a single YAML file. A single YAML file. Okay. So what playbook contains? So playbook contains place, and place contains what? Place contains are they are in orderly placed or ordered sets of tasks to execute.
Modules then task.
I'm sorry.
Modules and then modules contains task, right?
Yes, you are right. But everything comes under task only. Under task only modules will come. Not under modules task will not come. Under task modules will come. Okay. Hello.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Just we will wait. So once we do some once we see some example, then on that example we'll discuss. Okay. Otherwise others will confuse. Okay. Now place our ordered sets of tasks to execute against our host machines. So whatever we did till now, one moment, is this expired? It expired. So what we did till now, we have ran some commands, whatever commands we executed, the same thing. Now we are going playbooks. You can think them as a shell script. You can think our playbooks as a shell scripts. You can think them as a shell scripts. But the writing a shell script is different format, but playbook will write in a different format. And why we write shell script? You know why we write it. When you want to execute set of commands, we put them in a shell script. Similarly, whatever commands we have executed, for example, till now whatever commands we have executed, these commands, for example, I want to execute all at a time, for example. Of course, no use of running this at a time, but assume these are the commands which I want to execute at a time. Then I can put them inside my playbook. And when I run my playbook, then my playbook will execute all these commands sequentially. So, but shell scripts are different, but purpose of playbook and shell scripts are same. So shell script execute the commands on the same machine, but playbooks execute the commands on target machines. They will execute against host servers. They execute against host servers. So whatever servers you have mentioned in your host files, in your host file, whatever you have mentioned. So here we have host file, right? That we have not mentioned here. Right. This is a host file, right? In the host file, whatever you mentioned, for example, in dev, we have mentioned some IP address, right? IP address. So whatever IP address mentioned here, in that this task will be executed. So that means the same thing whatever did just now, the same thing we are going to do, but we will use those inside the playbook servers. So where we are getting the host IP is from 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 our inventory file, right? Inventory file, that is hosts, right? So play defines what else? So play defines a set of activities that is nothing but your tasks to run on manager nodes. To run on manager nodes, here we have only one node, manager node, that is node 1. You can have multiple nodes, okay? And what is task? Task is nothing but it contains the module, and under module you will give the parameters, right? So now the task contains the module, and module taking what? The arguments, right? Here we have used in different way, but in playbook we will use in different way. But end of the day, we will use a module under task, and for that module we will pass the parameters. Task is an action. Task is an action to be performed on the manager node, right? So this is about a short introduction about playbook. Like what it can do, playbook, it can execute, or it can execute a command. That means using the playbook we can execute a command, or we can run a shell script, like using our shell module. Using our shell module you can execute a shell script, run a shell script, whatever we did till now. You can also, we have not installed, right? We have installed, yeah, we have installed, no, we have not installed. We can install even packages like Apache or our own applications. So whatever till now we did, those things we can do, right? And here every playbook is written in YAML file, you know that. And every playbook starts with three hyphens. Three hyphens. That is, this way it will start. Okay. And every playbook will have a separate section. It will have a separate section. First section is host section. It will have the host section. In this host section only we have to mention our host servers details. Like suppose if I'm using in my host section, I'm using dev section, for example. I'm using dev section. This dev section I have to mention in my host section. So this name I have to mention something like hosts equal to dev. That way I have to mention. That we'll see. So host section defines the target machines on which the playbook should be run. So this host section refers our inventory file. Refers our inventory file. And next is variable section. So you can declare variables in this section. This is optional. This is optional and can declare all the variables. Declare all the variables needed. Why we require variables? If you remember, we used variables in our shell script as well. All the variables needed in the playbook. Same here also we require playbook. In the playbook also we require variables. That we will try to understand how we can create variables. Next, task sections. This section lists out all the tasks. So all the tasks which we have run, so these are all tasks. So all these tasks you can put in our playbook, but in a different format. That should be executed on the target machine, right? So what else it do? It specifies. This task will specify what? It specifies. It specifies the module name, right? So every task, for every task you can give a name. Every task you can give a name. Which is only for giving a description about that particular task. So whatever it is going to run, that about that it will display. It will mention about it. So till now, do you have any questions? So writing these tasks in Playbook, we have different ways actually, different ways. First one is declarative format, and second one is multi-line format, and third one is single line format. So we have different types of formats. So when you write any script, you can use any type. Out of this declarative type, you can use multi-line, you can use, or you can use single line. Whatever way you want, you can write it. Because when you join in a company, they may be used one of the format. They might have used one of the format. So when you join in a company, don't confuse. Don't confuse what format they have used, right? So for example, now I want to use declarative format. Today we will see declarative format and we will end here. Tomorrow we will see the other formats and we'll continue the session tomorrow. So I will write one sample application for one sample playbook, and then we'll continue tomorrow. So ls, so here we have only one file, no problem. Next, what I want to do, for example, I want see in etc folder, cd in etc folder, we have a file called password. Oh, I'm sorry, where am I here? Okay, cd etc ls. Okay, cat, it's not a folder, right? It's a it's a, okay, cd clear the screen, ls. Okay, nothing is there. Okay, so anybody dropping? If anybody dropping, we'll end this session. If you don't have, if you have some task to do. So Navin is on call, Shibin, who dropped? Rajesh dropped. Okay, I will end this session today. I will end this session today. Tomorrow we will see them. Okay, because people are leaving. We'll see tomorrow. Declarative format, from tomorrow we'll start declarative and multi-line and single line formats. Okay, tomorrow we'll continue how to execute a playbook and how to write a playbook. We'll start tomorrow. Thank you for your time. We'll meet tomorrow at same time. Take care.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Have a good day.
Thank you everyone.